Hey friends, today I'm going to show you how to have some fun with Alexander's Ragtime Band. Irving Berlin wrote the lyrics and the music to it. It's one of my, he's one of my favorite songwriters of the 20th century. Of course, White Christmas, God Bless America, some of his biggest. I really like this book series that Hal Leonard has put out, the easy fake books for younger kids to play. It puts all the music in the key of C, which makes it very easy to navigate. And also the notes are pretty big. So if you get a chance, check those out. I really like Hal Leonard's series. So this is from their book. What is this one? This is the first fake book. And this is their second edition. And they put Alexander's Ragtime Band up near the front here. So let's just go and take a look at it. And I'll try to show you the different leveled up versions through my system, the colored rank system. For those of you who not know, you can check it out or Google me and reach out. It's a lot like Taekwondo with different color ranks to understand where you are and where you want to go with your skill. So let's just go and take a look at this. All right, the melody here. Very easy. Next part. Okay, so we're in the key of C major. You know that we're going to be playing C's, F's, and G's, 1s, 4s, and 5s chords. What makes rag music sound like rag music typically is straight rhythm, not swing. If you do swing, like I just did, tends to give it more of a stride feel. Rag is typically straight 8s. It starts to sound more like a rag. Straight rhythm instead of swing. Either of those, though, you can do. And honestly, I like to bounce between the two. So you'll notice that I'll be doing that as we progress. One of the big things to make rag music sound like this is that cut time feel. Remember, that's what I call the split chords. I use a 1-5-8 number. And I just go from the tonic of C to its dominant, which would be C down to G. Okay? I'm going to move the melody up even higher so I can spread out the sound a little bit and just go. Maybe come back down the middle section. It's still just tonic to dominant, back and forth in the left hand. That's pretty much all there is to it. If you want to make a bigger sound, of course, for rag music, you want to use octaves. As we progress with it, it starts to make it sound more like the rag king, Joplin, Scott Joplin, for those of you who recognize that name. But just playing it with octaves then. To section A, okay? Octaves in the right hand, split chords, tonic to dominant left hand, pretty much you have it. Now the next thing you can also do to make music sound like rag is to do the walk down. You can honestly, in the key of C, of course, we know it's all white notes, but you can also then grab some half steps, some of those semitones with the black notes as you're walking down. So, next thing I want to talk about doing, and most of you, my blue notes are just learning this. Of course, black notes, first, second, third, they all should know this. Split keyboard, that's like the Mac Daddy of tearing up a piano. So instead of just a nice back and forth tonic dominant, sometimes when you actually jump the octave, you split the chord from C down here to C right here, or G to G. It gives it a much grander sound. jumping from an octave to an octave is almost too big of a jump. You can definitely do it like I just did, but you start to lose on that tonic to dominant sound. So you want to then combine them. This is more for the second degree blacks. First degree blacks can also check this out. But when you're actually traveling between the tonic and dominant split and the split keyboard, now you also want to go and use the black note pickup, and that's where you use the black note to the chord. So in other words, and this is first degree black going from the, if it's a C chord, you're going to go from C to C. And if you go to a G, any of the black notes to a G. Okay? Now, I'm still going to then occasionally use a split keyboard where I'm going to jump the left hand. Let's just check this out. Notice from here all the way down to here for the split keyboard. That's all I'm doing. It's still tonic dominant, but I'm splitting the keyboard, so it makes a much grander sound. Watch again. So constantly, the melody has not changed the whole time. I'm adding some right-hand harmonies and some counterpoint notes, you know, when you actually go. Just harmony notes that I'm using to fill in the gap to keep those eighth notes running. Anything that's within the chord, the arpeggio, or even they're walking down half stops, just anything to keep that kind of ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta with your right hand. And let's talk about that left hand again, just constantly jumping between the tonic and the dominant and making it sound big, using the black note pickups. So let me just isolate the left hand here. Notice my hand, for the most part, my hand's moving, but my fingers are really not. It almost stays in this octave position. I got stubby little fingers. No talent here, just little things, okay? And so I really, while I can reach a 10th occasionally or a 9th, it's too much work and effort. I like just keeping that octave position for the size of my hand, which is the size of most, you know, the average person can reach that octave pretty well. So just use those octaves to jump around. Just notice, and each one you'll level up as you progress, but just being able to jump from that octave and then adding number 5 in between. Melody. You want to eat up as much of the left side of the piano as you can. Bass clef, notes below middle C. You want to eat up as much as you can, activate that whole orchestra kind of sound, and it'll give you that full-bodied sound. And I'm not working really hard. It's purely built around those octaves. You'll notice, I'm just going to go and cover this again real quick. We've done in other videos, but also just that simple walk up. So when you're actually jumping around between your tonics and your dominants, when you then know that you're going to go back up to a C, you can do those quick little walk ups. Walk up. rag music, I would say really you want to activate as many half steps, the chromatic scale, as you can. So even when you're improvising in rag, I'm just walking through the chromatic scale here. I'm using diminished to major chords, which we've talked about in other videos. Seventh intervals. All while the left hand's doing the tonic to dominant, split keyboards, black pickup notes, 5 in the middles, the techniques we talked about in other videos as well. Stride piano, when you swing the rhythm now, you can actually even pick up the tempo with a pretty good swing. I would also suggest then, now this is a really good way of playing it, but also now when you sing and play, you might not be doing too much stuff. That was pretty much maxed out between octaves and all the full-bodied sound. Very good for instrumentation, but if you're singing it, this might be a good key, I'm not sure. Let's see, I'm gonna sing here. Come on and hear, come on and hear Alexander's Ragtime Band. Come on and hear, come on and hear, it's the bestest band in the land. They can play the bugle call like you never heard before, so natural that you wanna go to war. See how much space I'm putting in between my notes now? I'm not loading it up. I'm not overloading it. Of course, if you have a microphone, you might be able to load it a little bit more, but you need to make sure that you put those holes in there. Singing while you're playing, of course, that was in the swing style, but also then in the rag, you want to make sure you're not filling it up too much because you got to make sure those words, and that's the number of words that are coming out in a small amount of time, the clarity needs to be able to stand out a bit while you're playing. And also maybe, you know, it gives you a chance to focus on what you're saying and a little bit less on what you're doing here. Although hopefully by now, this stuff should be coming secondary. It's natural to you. But when you are playing, kind of just dial it back a bit. Even if then, and if you're me, I'm singing around this area here, okay, this register, probably then even spread it out. And you might be able to just dance around with half steps, like this. So if I go, come on in here, come on in here, Alexander's Ragtime Band. Come on in here, come on in here, it's the bestest band in the land. They can play the bugle call like you never heard before, so natural that you wanna go to war. It is the bestest band, what and honey lamb, okay? But otherwise then when you get back into playing instrumentation, just have some fun, cut it up. Okay, let's try this one more time for like a grand finale. Again, this is a key of C. I'm not sure this is the original key of this, but like I said, these easy fake books put everything in the key of C. Very easy then to read, especially for if you got students and stuff. And you can use these books for gigs too. Doesn't matter they're in the key of C. Let's go. Hope this video helped.